G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, yeah. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, let's go. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, yeah. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, let's go. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. We got Shot, Dot, Malcolm, Chris the King, plus the Doc. You know that's like 4 G's. Sports Mind. Real world, real problems, real news, real sports. We gon' let you know right here on 4 G's. 4 G's.
Welcome to another 4G Sports episode, all right? This episode is brought to you by Daphne Cozy and My Cozy Creations. As I say that, you see what the doc put on? That's what you get off the website. Oh, you didn't know about the website? 4G Sports with the Z.com. All right? You get your face mask, shirts. We'll talk about all that later, all right? But you know how we do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, and hit that bell so whenever we do anything, you know exactly when we put it up, premieres, and everything else, all right? So let's get into this episode, the podcast vibe. And as you see, we got the king here this week, and I'll get to my partner over here in a minute. But I'm the OG.
I'm the king.
You know what it is. You got the doc.
Yes, sir. And back with us again is our homie Quinten from Let's Talk Park Podcast. What's going on, Quinten?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? Glad, pleasure's definitely all mine enjoying you guys. Hey. It's always a better feeling being on this side. Sometimes you get so caught up in being a host that when you're a guest, it's a whole lot less stressful, as I would like to say.
Just sit back and look. Sit back and let your hair go.
Just sit back and just relax a little bit. Don't got to do no production. Don't got to worry about nothing. And I can relax and just chill. So in case people missed you the last time you was on, give them a brief introduction about yourself, sir. Well, I'm originally from Jersey, live in Pennsylvania. Started a podcast probably a year ago, a year and a half ago, basically. It basically started out as interviews where I would interview people face to face. And I didn't really want to do the over the computer type of thing, the virtual thing. And COVID hit. But right before COVID hit, a friend of mine was telling me, like, look, I know you're not big on Zoom. So I got some other things that you could use that's better than Zoom, and it basically took off from there. And it's just like took a life of its own. Started a Facebook group, started a page, started a Twitter for it, and just like it's really an interesting thing. All right. So, who wants to kick us off into the show today?
Hey, I'll kick it off.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because we know with the NFL how they did the Pro Bowl, right? They kind of just named Pro Bowlers, and then I think they had a little bit of a online gaming type tournament. Yeah. But with the All-Star game, it looks like right there in your backyard, OG, in the ATL, they're going to go ahead and play an All-Star game. How do you all feel about that? Do you think it's okay since they're playing a season anyway? Or do you think they should handle it a little bit more like the NFL since it's just an exhibition game anyway?
Quinten, I'm going to let you go ahead and start with that one. I'm going to go last. I know this is going to be a good one.
I think it's interesting when you're dealing with a pandemic. I mean, first and foremost, the rules are so different from state to state that brings a dynamic with different health codes, different occupancy. I know how Atlanta is with the traffic. So this could create a problem, and then you're dealing with a country that literally they need the money. This is a capitalism country. It's based off of money. Some of these leagues, like the NBA and baseball, they really can't afford another year or so the way it was last year when it comes to the COVID. The NFL, as we always talk, we always say in the podcast world, the NFL is king. They turn a profit every year. So I get what the NBA is doing. I get what Keisha is doing down there. It's just a tricky situation. It can get ugly because you're not going to tell people that they're not going to have fun and party. So we know it's going to be all-star parties regardless. I mean, you're not going to be able to curtail that. So I kind of think like, maybe they might need to pull it back and not have an all-star game. You're dealing with the players. Like what we always talk about, players going into COVID protocol and what has happened. We all know what runs the NBA. What's going to happen if LeBron gets sick? That's the big kahuna.
Yeah.
He gets sick down at that all-star game. It's going to be a major, major fallout from it. So I think they should err on the side of caution and just realize, like, it's not worth it. Give Atlanta another all-star game another year when we have this health pandemic crisis that nobody just want to just come out and say, like, we don't understand it. Instead, our politicians want to keep pointing the fingers at each other. I'm blaming you for not wearing a mask. You blaming me for getting sick. Just say we don't know. It's best that we just say we don't know. We don't understand. It's fluid. Let's wait until we get a better grip on this thing.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, King. I see you chomping at the bit.
If they have an all-star game in Atlanta, ATL will be the new ground zero for the coronavirus. Y'all know how ATL gets down. That is a party city. Y'all know they're going to be out there doing the absolute most out there. Why even take that chance? I mean, I think it's a kind of an unnecessary game to play anyway. I mean, with all the rules and regulations that are pretty much inconsistent in the first place. But why even take that chance of having a whole bunch of people go to Atlanta knowingly that they're going to go out there and do the absolute most while they're out there? Why do it? Not necessary.
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
I think my answer to the question gets framed a little bit more like a extra topic of discussion on this. And what I mean by that is, like King said, people are going to be out there doing the absolute most. But at what point do we start, I mean, just similar to how we are all supposed to be in the world, going to work every day, we have to hold ourselves accountable. I mean, at what point do these ball players also hold themselves? Do we say you got to hold yourselves accountable for doing the right thing? We're going to entrust you to do the right thing, and not, as King would so eloquently put, go out there and do the most. You know what I mean? And say, hey, we're allowing this to happen for you guys, so you all need to do what's right. Stay away from the big parties. Stay away from that club scene. Try not to group up. I mean, y'all getting paid millions for all this. This is, you get incentives in your contract for getting named to an all-star game. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe that's the military in me, because I know in the military when we were told, look, man, we're porting here, but y'all ain't go, you got to do what's right and not go out. And that's what we would do. We would not go out, and I know that a lot of that in the military is different. We're a little less what we would call free to do what we want, but at the same time there was accountability on us to do what's right. And I feel like we're dealing with some grown ass men, man. Like, look, we're allowing you all to have the all-star game because I know it's an incentive laden contract, and for you to even get named an all-star and play in the game. So don't go out there. What would our mom say? Don't go out there and have your ass out. There
you go. You got a point. No, Doc, I agree with you. Everybody is saying everything that was on my mind, but it's funny because I'm here. Mm-hmm. You get to see the both. You see the true side of what's about to happen. The NBA is saying the players will be in one hotel. They are not allowed to leave. The only time they're leaving is to go to the game. Okay. How are you going to control the lobby of the hotel? That's my first question. Is the game that important at this point in time when, and I'm not just saying this because my team won the title and they just got through playing 71 days before the season even started. Let's just really think about it. Like Quinten said, if the head honcho gets sick, what does the league do? What if one of your top players go out, and I know they're gonna be, not really going hard, but what if you twist the ankle, tear something for something that you already told the players you're gonna have off? So if I'm a player and I know I have these so many days off, and you're married with a family, what is your wife gonna say? Book us a flight somewhere to get out of here. Let's go out the country if we're able to leave, but we got to do something as a family. So now all of a sudden you do all this, and now you're going, hey babe, we got to go to Atlanta. I made the All-Star team. Boy, that's trouble in the household. So I don't know. I mean, looking at it from a player standpoint, I wouldn't go. And looking at it from Atlanta standpoint, they need the bread. I know what Keisha said. There won't be any parties. There are parties planned already around the city. And the biggest parties is going to be where Lou Williams got his wings from. So every strip club out here is already geared up.
Well, just look at it, OG. Just look at it. And this is, and I don't want to, and I'm not a health official or anything, but just look at the average person has either one or two people in their household, a young child or an elderly person. I happen to be one of the fortunate ones where it's not either. It's just, me and my old lady. However, what happens if the head of the household gets sick going to this All-Star game? I mean, we're in the podcasting sports realm. If we got invited to cover this All-Star game, now we have to all ask our families. This is just, and we're small, and we keep thinking these athletes are in the top condition. We don't even know the long-term effects of COVID yet.
Correct.
I just think it's a little brash. We go back to what I always say about this country is capitalism. We got to make money. We got to put people to work, and it's like nobody's willing to make a decision because if it goes bad, nobody wants to fall on the sword.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's like off the cuff. I understand what Keisha's saying. She knows her city. She knows the economy of her city. She knows what'll happen if this All-Star game doesn't come off. It'll be more businesses applying for the loans. People are hemorrhaging money right now. Small businesses are hemorrhaging money. I happen to work in a field where I'm considered essential, but like it was rough in my household. We had a couple COVID scares. I'm actually at high risk because I have asthma. So I just it's just a strange situation. And like I always say when we discuss situations like this, and this is why this question is always a good question, is I'm glad I personally don't have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to say. I wouldn't want to be Adam Silver right now. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be him because now, and I'm quite sure you guys know because we're so big sports fans and how it runs our life. Just think about in the offseason, these players can't even travel to fulfill their sponsor obligations. A lot of these guys go to China. We know that China basically runs the NBA with the revenue, and it's like China probably like, look, America, we've been dealing with stuff. Y'all ain't got y'all stuff together yet. We moving about, and it's like, eventually sponsorships is going to say, all right, we understand what's going on, but now we have to pull our money from supporting OG. We're going to take our money over to Doc and say, Doc, you could be more available to OG. We out.
Yeah.
That's just the price of doing business.
But in any business, if you're relying on other people to make it run, I think you should go talk to them first. And if they agree to do it, then that takes the liability off of you. Because you can always say, hey, we talked to the Player Association, which I don't get. The Player Association agreed on this. So the top tier players, I'd have been like, if you play one, I'm not showing up. I got my bread, so this ain't going to hurt me. You can fine me, whatever you want. I'll pay my fine. I'm not showing up.
I mean, speaking from a guy from Jersey that's local to me, half an hour from where I grew up in Jersey, how could you tell Karl Anthony Towns to go to an All-Star game? Think about what this kid just went through.
Right, correct. Now that ends the conversation in my book, because if you say that, his mom passed and he got it.
Well, I think he lost like
his mother. I think his mother, grandmother, father had it. His mother, grandmother passed.
Yeah, it went through his whole family. Yeah.
It ravaged his family.
So I mean, he'll tell you, no, I'm not going. So I think, like I said, I think that's a very touchy subject, but it's one of them things that
it is. We're a year into the pandemic now, and then what happens now is pandemic fatigue, right? I mean, especially for a country that we're so used to being free in terms of not having to shut crap down because of something like this, that now we're a year in and it's like there's so many out there that are just over it, and that then becomes an added risk for everybody. So it's you're right. I mean, ultimately, like you said, it's a touchy situation, touchy subject. I don't even know if there is a right answer if I'm real. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, we could not do it, but as Quinten stated, the revenue that's generated from this, there's a severe impact for the ATL alone. I mean, the revenue that's going to come from the All-Star Game for these small businesses, especially those that are trying to stay afloat near the arena, is highly impactful, and they'll be, unfortunately, very negatively impacted if they were to just say, "Hey, you're the All-Stars. Good job. So your contract's fulfilled. You'll get your incentives, but we ain't gonna play it. We're gonna do like the NFL and do a little tournament on the sticks or something." There's such a downstream impact to that. But on the flip side, as you said, we got players out here that have lost multiple family members to this virus, and to sit and with a straight face tell them, we're gonna send you at risk anyway for an exhibition game. Because I think that's the key here, is we're talking about an exhibition game. We're not talking, I mean, the regular games I think are something different because there's obviously an actual impact to the season, but it's an exhibition game. It really doesn't mean a whole lot. So I don't know. I don't even know if are they doing a 3-point? Are they doing the whole thing, like 3-point, slam dunk, all of it? They're doing the whole bit, huh? Well,
3-point is before the game. Slam dunk is during halftime.
Because think about, like, that's a whole nother added layer of player. Now you got players that didn't even make the All-Star team, right? They're just there to compete in the various competitions. So you're bringing them in too.
Why not have the slam dunk contest and a 3-point contest in their respective cities, like in their own gyms?
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do it virtual. I mean, King, what you just said, I bet you they never thought of.
Probably not.
Because if you just said it like that and how simple that sounds,
right?
But why wouldn't it work? Like you said, why wouldn't it work? They're still at home,
right? Yeah.
They're going to a practice facility that they've been going to already,
right? And just make it live from the facility.
There you go.
And have all the judges virtual. That's just what it is. 3-point contest as well.
Right.
Make the call. Have your people call their people.
Oh, I have my people call their people, and they might put me on hold though.
No, we'll put Sports Mom on it. She'll get through.
That'll work.
She'll get somebody.
All right, Doc. You know what time it is.
Oh, snap. Is it
yes, sir.
Is it Doc's Trivia Corner?
Yes, it is.
All right. So first we're going to get into last week's trivia question and answer. So, of course, since we're giving an answer out, you gentlemen can go ahead and chime in before I give the answer. But when I get into this week's question, please don't say nothing. I know how smart y'all cats are. You're probably going to get it right away. So,
all right.
Last week, what Chicago Bears running back was known as the Galloping Ghost? Do y'all remember? The Galloping Ghost, Chicago Bears. I'm talking, you got to think leather helmets and no face masks when they was walking around with chiclets for teeth and the whole bit.
The OG was born then. He knows.
The OG. Dang. That's some stuff right there.
So disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
To get it's your boy Harold Grange. Y'all remember Harold Grange?
Okay.
Remember the name? That was the Galloping Ghost. Our winner is Savvy154. So congratulations, Savvy. You got the question right, and you were the first one to do it. Thank you for playing. This week, remember, don't answer. This week's question is, who is the most decorated Olympian of all time?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
A. Paavo Nurmi. B. Mary Lou Retton. C. Carl Lewis. Or D. Michael Phelps. Remember, to answer this correctly, you got to go on the live chat when we're premiering the video. And how do you get to know when we're going live? Does anybody know how you know when we're going live? Yes, you, sir, in the back.
I do! You have to click the bell and hit the notification.
Hit that bell so you can get notified when we're premiering. Get the trivia answer right there in the chat. You'll be the winner. Maybe get you some gear, like
yes, sir.
This little face mask here.
Yes, sir.
You can also play Doc's Trivia Corner on any of our social media platforms. So go ahead and get up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can answer there as well. I appreciate y'all from playing. If I could talk correctly, I just get so excited about it.
King, it's on you, my brother.
I'm glad to be back from a week off. Thanks for having me come back. Quinten, I know it's been a while since we talked to you. Talk about your podcast and what's been going on since we last spoke.
Oh man, it's been picking up, man. You know, I'm always trying to, as they say, open a different envelope with different subject matters. Like I said, my podcast is a little different. It's a little unique within itself. Is that when you first start out, I like that. When you first start out, a lot of people try to tell you, hold on. A lot of people would try to tell you, don't focus on a bunch of different issues. So just stick to one issue. And I find myself that wasn't the best way to go for me. The best way to go for me was to try to get a bunch of different issues from different places within the different subject matters. So with me, you know, I talk about, we have sports, poetry, current events, got a relationship show, a bunch of other stuff like news, just life. Politics is always a good one. Just want to try to like scratch the surface on everything, but don't want to be like quote unquote a specialist in one area.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But things it's been interesting, you know. One of the things that I did want to share with you guys is, and I think, and I don't know if you guys are there yet, and I'm quite sure you guys will have your days where you self-doubt what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, don't get caught up with your views. Don't get caught up with your views. You guys are putting in the work. You guys know how it is to prep for a show, to get serious about your subject matter. Sometimes you guys know how it is to come to a show unprepared and then come to a show prepared. And then like, you be like, yo, that was an awesome show. Like we really kicked butt. And then you turn around after the show premieres and you're looking at your views like, yo, why it's not catching on? Am I tagging it right on YouTube? Why people ain't catching it? Is YouTube's algorithm shooting my stuff out? Don't get caught up in that at all. Just focus on the content. Focus on what you guys is doing. Try to make, you know, the production better. Just focus on that and just keep pushing. Just keep grinding, getting the content out there. Next thing you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, you got a whole library full of stuff. Now, 2 years from now, a guy may just be surfing YouTube. He might watch a video. Be like, oh, let me subscribe to these guys. And he might be liking and commenting on old stuff. And y'all will be getting alerts like, why is this guy? Then it picks up. I mean, you may do an interview that a person wasn't a quote unquote star at the time, but a year from now they might be a star. Like it happens like that, and then it'd be like a where are they now type of segment. So don't get caught up in your views. Your views is there to discourage you, or to give you a false sense of hype. So that's one of the things that I always want to share with fellow podcasters and brothers doing this, because a lot of people don't understand the hard work we go through, and the reward is for our channels to grow. Mm-hmm. So one of the things is I always try to remind people is don't get caught up in your views. And when you're talking to people and friends, the least that we can do for each other in this space is to like, share, and subscribe. Yep. We might not be able to, we might not be able to outsource. Like I do outsourcing, crowdsourcing where they can donate to the channel's PayPal and Cash App and GoFund. Okay, everybody can't financially donate, but the least that a person can do is like, share, subscribe. So just trying to get people to understand, everybody that don't have a Gmail account, how easy a Gmail account is. Once you got a Gmail account, you have a YouTube channel. Just go there and just click the like button, click the bell, and now you're helping my channel grow, because that it's crazy as it may seem, it's all about the likes and the views. From a support standpoint, but try not to get caught up in that, and don't let that discourage you, man. Just keep pushing. I'm quite sure you guys individually have your dream interview. What's going to happen once you get your dream interview? I'm quite sure OG, I'm quite sure if you was to interview LeBron or Dak Prescott, you would probably go crazy. But what will you do better after that interview? That's what you got to ask yourself. You know what I mean? Because I done wrote a couple checklists off. Like I done got excited with interviews and reached out to certain personalities, and I'm like, what's going to happen next? Right. After I get those interviews and realizing it's just around the corner, man. It's just a matter of staying in the space, knowing that the market right now, because of COVID, is oversaturated. Everybody has a podcast. We're not celebrities coming in this. So a known celebrity, like for example, Jay-Z could start an Instagram page right now and have over 50 million followers. Yep. But he's not on Instagram. So I say that as an example to say that we're starting not from a disadvantage. We're starting very organically. Yeah. And you really, really start appreciating your subscribers. Yeah. Your people that follow you. You understand who they are. We all know there's going to be trolls out there, but you really appreciate, my list, my 10 more people subscribed. You get the thing, then you get email, then you might even click and check their page to see if they active and be like, wow, man, and you start to realize, your work is paying off. So don't let the stuff discourage you. That's about the best that I can always give myself and other brothers that's doing this and sisters that's doing this. All
right. Hey, that's great advice, man. We got to take that to heart, because we do get caught up in how many subscribes and views and stuff. So
yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, I think sometimes
definitely when you done bombed a major show and we kick butt. After the show, you be like, we did our thing this show. Everything was smooth. The production was smooth. You'd be like, I feel good. You'd be pumped. It'd be like an extra adrenaline rush. And then you'd be like, only 30, 40 people watched it? Like, where they at? 50 people? Don't get caught up in that. Just keep pushing the content out. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing it out there.
Gotcha.
I think it's about, for us, remembering why we started in the first place, right? Because, it does get easy to focus on the views or the subscribes. But I think even for myself, there's times where you have to say, oh, you know what? I do this because I enjoy doing this with my brothers. Like one view, and I've said this in podcasts in the past where we have to have that moment where it's one view or 100 million views. I just enjoy being on here, and talking with my brothers here. And so that's great advice, Quinten. We appreciate it. It's helpful because we know, for all of you out there watching, also, Quinten's going through the same struggle as all of us. And I don't mean struggle in like a bad sense, but it is work, on top of what we do in our normal everyday lives. This is work to put something together that is, entertaining. I like to say entertaining because ultimately that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to entertain our audience enough to have them want to watch and of course click that bell and get excited when we're premiering and whatnot. So I appreciate that, especially with your show. We obviously, it's 4G Sports. That's what we gear our conversations to, sports, and of course talk about those social issues that need to be spoke on, that we just refuse to stay silent on. But your show, it does cover an array of subject matter. So again, for our listeners looking to check out something that covers a variety of topics, definitely go check out Quinten and the Let's Talk Sports, or I almost did it too, Sports. Let's Talk podcast.
Right.
One of the issues, right, I had this week, right? We're in the sports realm, and we into the news, the drama, what goes on, what pushes the needle.
Yeah.
So I'm at work, and I'm getting alerts about Tiger Woods. And God willing, Tiger Woods comes back to good health. But this is a sports issue, but it turns into a news issue because of how big of a star he is.
Correct.
So now I'm at work. I have a scheduled show when it happens later on during the day. But the way that I really wanted to do and being ahead of the curve is I wanted to go live. I wanted to get home, throw the computer on, start a show, because you want to be able to, even though podcasting sort of says a show and you talk and you play it later, we are in what we would consider a media realm. And media is so fluid that you'll be, as we say, late to the party with issues. And so you'll want to talk about something and then you'll be like, man, it's saturated already. That was yesterday's news, because y'all know how quick the news cycle turns. Like, man, they need look. Tiger Woods almost died last week.
Yeah,
major surgery on his lower legs. May never play golf again. They're not even talking about him in the news no more. That that quick. And we're talking about probably one of the greatest golfers, legitimately the greatest golfer ever, but one of the greatest athletes in the last 50 years. And it's not part of the news cycle no more. It's nonstop. One thing I did do, and I want to say this to you guys, and as well as for your audience, is I studied podcasting and YouTube channeling for 18 months before I decided to press go. I had a job. I still work at the same company that I was working at, but I had an assignment where I had a lot of free time. So I would be on YouTube studying it, watching other content creators, and really just getting a feel and really listening to what they were saying. Because this field and this space that we in, it's a lot of advice that goes on, a lot of good information. So I would be a sponge to everything. And one guy that I found out about, his name is Adam Curry. Adam Curry is considered the godfather of podcasting. And so I started listening to him, and he doesn't talk about sports. He talks about a bunch of other stuff. And, I just started really just absorbing stuff. Like I said, because of me not just sticking to sports, started getting into understanding politics. And when you try to be in the space, you have to follow people on Twitter. You have to follow people on Instagram, because you got to stay current with the information. One thing, shifting it back to sports, is I had to understand the business of sports and what's going on, because you have to try to this is a full-time job. This is a job. This is something, this podcasting and YouTube channel stuff is something that we have to take serious, because in order to put off a good show, you have to do your homework. You have to stay abreast of what's going on. So I would say
you have to have credibility.
Yes. Right. Anybody that's really trying to get into this field, just realize, just be a sponge to this information. I'm always looking into new microphones, cameras, always trying to get your production together, because you want to have that, what we would call a perfect show, something that all of us chase. And the chances of ever us and anybody having the perfect show is not going to happen. Yeah. Not going to happen. So.
Man, you gave some great advice. We need to do a
sportscast
seminar right there. Man, you know what, Quinten? Me and you might have our own special little sidebar for the draft and do a Dallas draft podcast. Just me and you.
I'll be willing to do it. You know, that's another thing that that's more of something I grew up on. Sports. I didn't play as much, but I have some connections. The town I grew up in Jersey is like an area where sports is big. One of the biggest high school football teams. Town I grew up in New Jersey. I'm around a bunch of coaches. I got a bunch of friends that coach college. So that's something I love. It's funny. My favorite sport that most people don't know is baseball. I was a diehard Mickey Mantle fan growing up. Never seen him play, as y'all know. And then after Mickey Mantle, my favorite player after that was Junior. I loved it. His swing was just so beautiful when he played. I'm not as much into baseball as the other sports right now. I just think that even going back to the first initial question, when we step into this media thing, we understand that baseball and basketball is more regional.
Right.
Yep.
Football is more national. And this is why baseball and basketball needs to be very careful going forward with the COVID, because they don't have, like I said, they don't have that cash cow. I mean, NFL at the end of the day, in 2 years is coming up on that big contract that's going to be crazy. The salary cap is going to go up to about $215 million in 1 year. That's going to be like a $30-40 million increase. And we're talking about upwards of $2-3 billion for the TV contract alone. And don't let these cable networks get a shot at DirecTV, because we know how DirecTV been basically keeping us from being able to see our local teams. If the cable companies ever could stop DirecTV with doing that, and they put a bid in and it's bought like Comcast, that's ball game. And I think that going forward, because of COVID, the NFL, outside of a couple of things, the NFL can never do anything wrong. In my eyes, I see the business side of what they do. Being able with the NFL package to pass, allowing the casual fan to be able to look at game film. You mean to tell me a guy that's 15 years old, that want to get into coaching, want to get into playing, he can watch NFL game film right now. He can't even get high school game film or college game film, but he can get NFL game film. You can't beat that. That's why the NFL is king, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. King, you know what it's time for, baby.
All right, Mr. Quinten. We asked this question to pretty much everyone as of late.
He answered the first one. Let's go to the second one. Go to the second one. He answered the first one already.
Okay,
go to the first. Go to the second. Yeah.
Okay. I can answer that one that's on the screen. I can answer that one.
Okay.
It's funny. And you guys should do a podcast on Kobe. And the reason why I say that is because I think Kobe's life from A to Z needs to be told. I think his story is very unique. We used to say, a friend of mine that was a business manager for a bunch of NBA players, when Kobe first played, used to always say Kobe was very quiet, and he didn't have no friends while he played in the game. He probably had about 4. Karan Butler was a good friend of Kobe's, and then at the end, he got friendlier with LeBron and them. When Kobe died, I happened to have been down in the town he was in Pennsylvania, because that's where I live at. Kobe is remembered better and appreciated better in his death than he was when he was alive. True. So to answer your question, though, I think LeBron James is a better player than Kobe.
All right. Well, this podcast is over. Thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night.
No. It's funny.
This episode was brought to you by Cozy Creations.
It's funny. It's funny. Was Olajuwon better than Shaq? Most people say, yeah, because to me, Shaq is like LeBron. They didn't get the most out of their talent. I love LeBron, and I always say he was better than Kobe, but Kobe got everything left in the tank. Everything was left out in the tank. He didn't leave nothing left on the court. And when I say better, I'm not saying better player as far as accomplishments. I'm saying better skill-wise. He had more to offer up until this point. And I'm not saying LeBron is still going, still ticking. I'm still rooting for him. I'm not a Laker fan. But I'm a big LeBron fan. I'm big on this kid. What he's done on the court to him and Kobe to not have college degrees is amazing. And their business acronym is amazing. There's a couple of things that I get upset with LeBron about, but at the end of the day, he's not perfect. But I just think LeBron, up until probably the time that he got to Miami around a real organization, he was leaving a lot left to be desired. So I would say Kobe accomplished more, but I thought LeBron had the more talent. We had the more talent.
Okay. Second question: which Kobe was better, number 8 or number 24, and why?
I just want everybody in the broadcast to Google a couple things. When Kobe was going through his stuff in Denver, he went on a run.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
That run he went on, I think it was about 10 games where he was just going crazy. I've seen nothing like it. I knew basketball when Michael played. My friend, a close friend of mine, is a good friend of Charles Oakley. I was around the NBA then, but I've never seen a run that Kobe had when he was going through his stuff. Like, that was something special.
Yeah,
he was kicking butt and asking names later, as they say. Like, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, I agree with you, man. I gotta go 8.
Damn, run. Woo. Because let's look at it. 24, Kobe was still good. He was smarter, but we all know championship teams need help, but he needed Pau Gasol and Ron Artest at the end. That last game, he had a rough game, which is cool, but a lot of people ain't gonna talk about that rough game. But them 3 years with Shaq, and there was some things that was going on between them, and then them running into Detroit, because Detroit, we gotta face it, Detroit went to the championship, like the Eastern Conference Championship, I think 5 years in a row. So Detroit was gonna win eventually. But that run with Shaq, Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe, they were unstoppable, man. Like, if they got anything from a third fiddle, you couldn't win.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't win. I mean, Shaq had your team in the bonus by 6 minutes left in the second and fourth quarter. You go on the free throw line with 6 minutes left in each quarter at the end. When Kobe get fouled, that's 2 points. So it's, and I'm quite sure OG would tell you the 3 championships was the minimum they should have won together.
They should at least had 5 in a row. They should have had 5.
And I never try to take shots at the big fella. What he's done for himself and what he's done for the community is can't be questioned. But I blame Shaq for a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. You come in shape, you got 5 in a row automatically. You got to just come in shape. That's all you do. Work out. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right,
King.
You know what to do.
Well, Quinten, we want to thank you for coming on the show again. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. You gave us a lot of good information on podcasting, and I was really, really into what you were saying, and it makes absolute sense what you were saying. And I think all of us should take heed of what he said today, and not look at the views, just look at our content for the most part. You got to come back on the show once again, and all his information will be on the bottom of the podcast. So just tune in. It's been a pleasure having you.
Well, definitely, the pleasure's all mine. I always look at when we talk about sports on my show, and I can definitely say this about you guys. It's like this is a natural and a normal for what we do. When you sit around and talk sports with your friends, we just happen to be on camera. One thing I want your audience to know, like, share, and subscribe. If you like their show, like it. Share it on your page. I mean, you see their show, take their show, share it on your Facebook page. That's the least you could do. Like this algorithm thing, and learning this podcasting, it's interesting because you start going down a rabbit hole, because you start learning stuff that you don't really want to learn, but you're forced to learn, and you learn about algorithms and what set them off and what make them worse. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you just hit the like button, share it on your page, share it on your Twitter, share it on your Instagram, put it in your links. Do everything you got to do. One thing, I'm not going to plug nobody's book, but one of the good influences of our time, Gary Vee.
Oh yeah.
He has a book called Crushing It. Mm-hmm. Very, very good book. Book means a lot to me. I read it at least twice a year, and we need to take advantage of social media the way that it's supposed to be, instead of all the drama, hostility, and use it. It's marketing. So, anybody watching these brothers broadcast, the least you can do for them, is like, share, and subscribe. If you already subscribe, you already liked the video, share it, do those 3 things. And thanks for having me, fellas. I'll be more than welcome to come back anytime. And it's like I said, we talk about sports. I mean, we can't go wrong. Me and OG will probably argue about the Cowboys more than we'll get along, because we already disagree on the draft method. So I'm quite sure it'll be interesting.
Yes, sir.
I happen to like the Cowboys owner. Most people don't like the Cowboys owner.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about. We'll discuss that later. We'll get on all that later. Like I said, that's a whole nother podcast, brother. That's a whole nother show. So, yeah, we definitely need to get on that one, especially before the draft. We need this, and then that way we can see
definitely
what path they took.
The draft will be basically 2 months from today.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, now. Well, this episode was brought to you by My Cozy Creations, Ms. Daphne Cozy, always making us that flag gear. So go on our website, check it out, get something ordered, and get right to your doorstep. You know what I mean? Next week we have Coach Draco with us. So make sure y'all are watching, because you never know what's going to happen with Coach Draco on there.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead, OG.
All I can say is put on your seatbelts when Coach Draco come on, because, Doc, you said it. We don't know where we're going to go.
Yes,
but
sir.
You know what? You want to check us out, 24-hour access? You know where to go? 4gsports.com, all right? Once again, that's 4gsports with an Z at the end, .com. You can check out past episodes. You can check out Doc's bio, King's bio, my bio, buy gear, whatever you want, contact us. So remember, 24 hours, anytime you want, any past episodes. You don't like going on YouTube, we have all our episodes in one spot, and that spot is 4gsports.com. All right? All right, King, go ahead and sign out, buddy.
I want to give a shout out to my little basketball squad, man. We're on a nice little 2-game winning streak. We had some bumps in the road in the beginning. Got them all ironed out. So the team that we played this week, we got blasted by 30. And like I told them on Friday, we're a whole new squad. So we come to get their ass this week.
Get them.
Is that why you shave? Because y'all got a 2-game winning streak?
Nah, they called me. They said I look like a homeless coach, so I had to shave it.
Oh man, I love them kids.
Gotta love the kids. Gotta love the kids, baby.
Gotta love the kids. Go ahead,
No doubt. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just shout out Quinten, man. We appreciate having you on. That was like King said earlier, man, that was really insightful, so we appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
No problem, brothers.
Man, Quinten, my brother, you did you shut the show down once again. Like they said, you gave great information. So everybody, check out Let's Talk Podcast. It's not just sports, all right? Quinten, we will get together before the draft. My 4G brothers, I appreciate you so much. You just don't understand. All right? As always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and see you next week. 4Gs.
Peace,
we out. Yes, sir.